shitty lighting, though.
Alright, well, if y'all ready to roll, nah, we gotta let people get their background straight. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna just move. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna just move to this different shit. I don't want to be.
At OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that street geek nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode.
Raise that roof.
Yeah.
Yay.
So that's right. Beast Vibes Life. I am joined by the rest of the 4 horsemen. We wanted to give y'all a shout out, give y'all a special episode today. But before we get started, we're going to start in the bottom square. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Show them how you rolling. You know what I'm saying? That's right. You know what I'm saying? No games. No games. So, bottom square, we got ARC, Father Part 3, Arckatron. Say what up.
Hey y'all, it's Arckatron. Arckatron.com is where you can find me and all my other stuff there. Got some stuff out there for y'all, and that is it today. I might have some more later, but right now that's all I got. That's all I got right now. All right, peace. I'm out, y'all.
Word up. Diagonal square, we got the fleecing one. That's right, Anwar. Highsign. What's up?
Fleecington. Highs keep coming. Highsign coming. Highsign coming. Arc keep coming. PL coming. I'm here.
And last but not least, right here, conspiracy-fied, ultra conspiracy-fied gentleman, PL Parker Lewis.
What's good, y'all? ParkerPLLewis.com and on all social media and on all streaming platforms. Check me out one time. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Follow.
Yo, are you good at parallel parking, son?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Parker Lewis on many levels.
You know.
Oh boy.
It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure I still got it.
Oh, whoa. It's not like riding a horse or a bike. It's a horse.
It might kind of be like riding a horse. I don't know.
It's probably like riding a horse than riding a bike. But...
No, either one. I'll be right.
You be saddling up, you cowboy? You be saddling up?
You know, gotta saddle up.
Pause. Hey.
So,
pause.
Big shout out to everybody in early on the chat. Big shout out to everybody who's watching on the replay. I figured we take a pause for the cause because I saw something in the hip hop community that I was like, you know what? We need to talk about this for a second because I just want to make sure that we're all kind of on a level playing field. You know, that we all kind of got a similar level of knowledge, my brother and sister, to bring y'all up to a higher level. You know, what is high? What is higher? What is
Sky,
learn? What is
the earth is
learning?
low.
So a couple of days ago, I saw Timbaland trending on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh snap! Yo, Timbo the
No.
King, yo from VA, come on, man! Timbaland probably got a new album out." So I look up the trend. I'm like, "Oh snap! What's going on?" And it seems that people seem to be dismayed to find out that Timbaland is copying music. Now, I tried to
What you
trace back
mean?
as
What
far
you
as I
mean
could.
copying music, man? What you mean by that, man?
So
The proper
there was a
term
young
is
lady-
sampling.
Yeah, there was a young lady that was playing some Timbaland music, and it looked to me that she was like giving him love, saying, "Yo, thanks for like incorporating my culture and your music," and it's just kind of like a celebration of Timbaland and stuff like that, and some samples that he's used. And from that, it seemed like people were like, "Hold up, Timbaland copying songs?" And it seemed like there's a good amount of people out there that aren't exactly well versed or maybe informed about what sampling is when it comes to hip hop music. And I thought,
really nice way of putting it. That's a really nice way.
That's a polite way
to acknowledge really stupid people. Let's continue.
See, I'm trying. So I said, hey,
I'm gonna hold you down.
Wednesday,
I'm not even gonna try to be nice to them. I'm gonna hold you down today. I'm firing.
You're the Obama interpreter.
Oh yeah.
I got a clip today. Let's start. I might spray today.
I figured, yo, look, I'm on the show with 3 gentlemen that make music all the time. It's a slam dunk. Why don't we get them together? They produce music. We can talk about production, hip hop and otherwise, and help educate the masses.
Where's my water at? My bad.
So, I'll say this. I guess I'll throw this out to the whole panel. Any one of you guys can answer it first. I guess Anwar first. Could you please give your example or your perspective of the difference between sampling and copying music?
Yeah, well, it's kind of a blurry line depending on who you ask. But I mean, for context, if any of you have not seen this video, the same way that people do like some tribute mixes where they'll play like the record that someone sampled, and then they'll play the original record. Like, oh, check this one out. They'll blend it in. And this person, this DJ was like, yo, shout out to Timbaland. Did y'all know that he was sampling a lot of Middle Eastern music? Check it out.
Yeah.
And then stupid happened. As is completely on brand with the platform. But yeah, like copying to me has no finesse. It doesn't attempt to artfully incorporate something. You sample things for the vibe, you sample things for the musicality, but a copy does not consider those things. A copy just will take something and then pretend that take it and then pretend you created it. But that's not what's happening here. This is a classic case of just someone sampling, and these people assumed a thing that wasn't true. He never said that he didn't sample that. He never, no one ever said that he didn't use samples or anything. Like, the guy does a mixture of all those things. He plays things, he samples things, he mixes stuff up. The mastery of what he does is that you didn't know that it was a sample, but it was. And the thing you might have thought was a sample may not be a sample. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth us exploring the difference between copying and sampling when this is more a case of someone who doesn't understand what sampling even is.
All right. I'm glad you said that, because I was going to move on into that. Mr. Lewiz, if you will, what is sampling? How do you sample when you make a song?
There's multiple ways to do it. Depends on what DAW or device that you're using to make your beats with. You can literally chop up piece by piece, like literally pieces of a song, and reconstruct from there. You can chop a loop of a song and work from there. It all depends on what idea and where you're trying to take the song. There's many different factors. You might be able to get away with doing one and not having to pay for it as a producer. There's different ways.
Nothing about that.
There's different ways to get around things. But yeah, so it to Highsign's point, there's really no point in really taking the time to differentiate what sampling and copying is, because if you don't know that difference, fam,
but then also, like, no matter how gracefully you define it, someone's gonna still say a copy's a copy's a copy. And some people are gonna understand what's happening and like be able to wrap their head around the artful expression of it, and some people just aren't. And you know, that's just a thing that you got to live with if you make sample-based music.
All right.
Same thing with graffiti, I guess you could say. Like, some people are gonna get it, and some people are gonna be like, "You just defacing."
It's just vandalism, you know.
It's just vandalism, and then other people are gonna be like, "But the lines."
Okay. Now, big shout out to Tyler Bennett and Lala Papa in the chat, Mr. Tron,
who's been very quiet.
Call him in the streets
for a reason.
We've talked about like artful expression in a couple of situations that we've done, you know, our top producers and stuff. When it comes to sampling, you sample, you know, PL samples, Anwar. After you guys want PL and Anwar to jump in, but what are ways that you, I guess, work to make sure that your sample is an artful expression besides just kind of like replaying or just copying a loop? What are the things that go into, because I think people don't know really what goes into like a sample. Like they think, oh, you just took it from the record and you put it here. And it's like, nah, it's some steps. But I mean, I guess the short version. I mean, I know there's years of tinkering, but you know what I'm saying? Like for you, what is like the artful or artistic expression in sampling?
The artful expression for me, like personally, when I make music, is to catch the vibe of what I heard or what I was listening to, and make a new vibe off of that in a way where it expresses something new. You know, like new in terms of like maybe it's a different timing, and maybe it's in 3/4 and you change it to 4/4, or you change it to 5/4, or whatever. That's why I mean musically. You also can pitch things, changing the actual notes, and then you can chop it and then make those notes be something totally different. We're at a point where you're like, I don't know what this is from. And it's kind of the point of like, there's different ways to go about it. There's ways to go about it where you're trying to make something new. There's ways you want to just catch the same vibe. And there's ways you just want to take the record and put it on the radio with some vocals over it. There's different ways to go about it. There's levels to it. The level that I was talking about initially, the way I go about it is more of the level of like going deeper into what it sounds like and what the notes are and what the rhythm of it is, and kind of decoding it and breaking it down and building it back up. That's how I build things. For the most part, I've looped things before. I ain't gonna lie. I've done it before.
I got love for loops. You know what I'm saying?
Gonna
Big
lie.
shout to the loop digger.
I feel I've done the full gamut from top to bottom in terms of the most amount of not say work, but the most amount of time spent to the least amount of time spent.
The most amount of re-envisioning.
Yes, exactly. Re-envisioning. Thank you, Anwar. So that's why I feel it is basically in a nutshell. abridged version, of course.
All right, cool. Highsign, PL, either y'all.
My bad. What was the question again?
All right, so like what is what
My
you
bad.
do to kind of express your artful or artistic eye, I guess, or ear in sampling a certain record or sound or what, drum or whatever, to make it, your own, to kind of like
So
create something new, sort of.
I super agree with what Arcka was saying, but then like part of that is also being able to hear that a piece of something else can be interpreted a different way.
Facts.
Okay.
Like part of it is like, just because you take something from a record and loop it and put vocals on it does not make it good. And there's a talent to understanding like what is the part of the groove that's this is going to resonate a certain type of way when I take this and put it into a different frame. When I take this out of its original space and put it into this space over here, it's going to turn into something different. It's going to mean something different.
That's basically what hip hop was based on. That's hip hop right there. What Highsign and Arckatron have both been saying, fam, that's hip hop. Like you're basically taking something that wasn't necessarily made for you, or I'm just talking back in that time, the beginning of hip hop. They took disco records, they chopped up loops and they took break beats from disco joints or old rock joints, like from 70s rock, progressive rock songs, disco joints. They just chopped up loops or chopped up break beats, and that's hip hop. It's been going on since the beginning of hip hop.
And now it's going on in all of the other genres of music.
Yeah.
You can find examples of this in all of the other genres.
Yeah.
This
is not exclusive. It's not exclusive to, but it's predominant in, but it's not exclusive to.
It comes from hip hop.
Yeah.
But
it actually comes from something else.
We see the influence and the gravity, the meaningfulness of the technique, because it's transcended hip hop and moved into other forms. Those other forms are definitely influenced by and informed by what we do.
If we being technical, it came from the dub plate. If we're being technical.
Okay. See, now that I won't up on. But at the same time, here at, where we saw this kind of kerfuffle on Twitter, I was surprised because I was like, if you didn't know, immediately sort of like accusing someone of stealing stuff is weird. Now, I will ask, I'll say this, similar to what Anwar was saying about hearing like a certain part of the record. Earlier, we were talking offline on the chat, and I was like, hey, there's this song that I always love by Michael Jackson, This Place Hotel. These are a couple songs that I know that sampled it, but I always wonder why producers never looked at this part. I always thought this part was amazing. Like, even when I was younger, like that part, I always loved that part. I always thought it was a dope piece to, I guess, in that song.
Glimpses into the group chat.
Glimpses into the group chat. But like even stuff like that, I think Anwar said this. I think you were like, hey, sometimes people just hear the beginning of the beat and they're like, cool, that's what I want, and I just move on. Yeah. I remember seeing, I know Arckatron will like this. I remember seeing some video with Ninth Wonder, and he was just like, yo, if it ain't in the first seconds, quit it. He was like, get out of here.
Which is wild. I don't know if he still feels that way, but that's wild. Like, I've grabbed things that were killer from like 5.5 minutes into a song or more.
Yeah, I know
Arcka does that all the time.
I'm a whole record listener. I listen to the whole entire record. Even if it's whack, I'll find something. Don't let me find it. But what whack is subjective. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, so it just depends on what you're listening for, what vibe you're in that moment. And, you know, you can find gems and things that people probably discarded. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's some, even like the Johnny Mathis records that's always in the record store. They got some jams on there.
I flipped Johnny Mathis numerous times.
Yeah, they're hating on Johnny, man. I don't know why they're hating on Johnny.
Yo, your boy Mathis be doing work. Now, from the chat, big shout out to Phantom Girl, Jenna James. Good to see you. Lala Papa said all of the other genres are trying to slowly dissolve hip hop / rap or the rap industry. And then here comes Tyler Bennett saying sampling erodes the imagination. And then Lala Papa going to say sampling should have stayed strictly within the club / mixtape era or strictly done by professional DJs. Sampling was more potent and powerful during the invisible scratch pixels versus everybody during the 90s DJ battles. How you feel about that? Because I think there's always room to kind of take something and kind of like remix it a little bit, you know, maybe chop it up, swirl it in with some different drums or something, and have something completely different, like kind of like, not exactly, but kind of like a musical game of telephone where it's like, oh, cool, I like what you did right there, but what if you took this note on this part in minute 1 and then took the piece from minute 3:28 and put it right back to back and then did this? And now it's something brand new, even though it's, you know, even though it's sample, it's something also completely and wholly new now. And I don't know.
You know what that takes?
Oh, go ahead.
You know what that takes?
Imagination.
That's what I was about to say.
Hello.
I was about to say, I don't know if I would consider that eroding imagination, because that allows you to kind of like, you know, kind of play and maneuver things differently. So I think sometimes that allows you to flesh out new ideas and see kind of like new worlds, if you will, through music or sonically, where it's not just I guess you could say a direct Xerox of a beat with new drums. Because I mean, that does happen too, or it has happened too. So my next question, big shouts to the chat. Next question, due to this Twitter response, how do you think we've gotten to a point where, I mean, I know there's a level of general public, they don't know how, you know, the omelet is made. They just want to eat an omelet. But there is a level of like, I thought it was kind of known that, and maybe
keep it
maybe
real that she played with samples.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't know that all of the records that she played were samples.
Which ones did she play? I actually didn't watch the video. I saw the video.
She played Big Pimpin', of course.
Pimpin'. Yeah.
Mike, what were the other ones?
More Than a Woman, Big Pimpin'.
I knew More Than a Woman was a sample.
I didn't know that was a sample.
Was it?
Yeah, I heard this. I heard the sample. I have a Timbaland sample folder, so like that was in the folder.
Yeah,
it's a dope sample though. It's a dope sample.
It is a dope sample. And I love that song, yo. Like I love that song so much.
Yeah, there were like 2 or 3 Aaliyah joints in there that I wasn't aware of.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh man, this is cool, but I never thought that Timbaland never sampled, because I've heard samples on other joints that he's done. Like even there is a joint in Super Duper Fly that Missy, what was it? The joint, what is it? Happy Skies or like Friendly Skies? Or something?
Friendly Skies. Yeah,
Friendly Skies.
The joint with Genuine on it. Yeah.
I love that song, but I had already heard it because my dad has the like. So when I heard it, I was like, hey, is that? You know what I'm saying? So I know, but I already kind of assumed that he did sample at least every now and then. But is it a situation where we know people sample because we're just already either involved or used to be involved in making it, or is it because we're just like so into the culture itself, as far as even before I was rapping or anything like that, I still was very interested and invested in hip hop in general.
I think I got it. I think I got it.
Go ahead.
I think as time goes on, like, hey, yeah, can I say this one? Can I say this one? Domination. You know, no.
Combinations.
No, I feel things get things get lost in, like, when I'm speaking to you, might get lost in translation. I feel the same thing has happened over time. Things get lost of how things are created and things like that. And I think a lot of people maybe just didn't know, maybe on the young side, don't want to put that on them, but I'm just saying, like, if you're younger, you might not know exactly how everything works. So that something that worked maybe in the 90s and the 2000s that was heavily samples, and the 80s there was a heavy sample going on, and that's 30 years ago. If you like think about it, like, it's been 30 years, and in the last 20 years, last 10 years, there's been a different kind of wave of how people are sampling. The wave that's been popular is a lot of times it's a lot of loop based stuff, which is fine, Griselda, but it's cool. But Griselda. To me, that's that's the lack of imagination I feel Tyler Bennett is talking about. I'm not trying to take no kind of shot. I'm just saying sometimes it's like
there is.
It's also coupled with like coupled with like a young level of assumption. Like, I didn't know it was sampling, and I also assumed that he didn't, and I have no grounds to assume either of those things. Like, I don't even like a young person would like the person. I've actually saw the tweet because I went and looked, and it was just like a person that I don't even think this person was probably not even into music, or it was just like a random person, like some random chick that was just like, he out here copying, and it was like, you don't even pay attention to things like that.
I think it's more
to make that kind of it was like a weird condemnation, and it was like, why did you just assumed because you didn't know that this was that, and then when it wasn't, then you like further evidence that not everyone deserves a platform. Not everyone deserves to spew their opinions on the shit.
I think the big fuss was because it was who it was. Like, Timbaland is not a producer known for sampling. Like, the only sample that I know of from Timbaland before this incident was Big Pimpin'. And I only knew that was
not
the
only one you know
because of the lawsuit.
Sir, that's not the only one you know of. I Can't Stand the Rain.
That's I give that more so to Missy. I don't give that to him.
He ain't gonna indict. He ain't gonna indict Timbo.
I'm not getting into this with you today.
Okay.
Now, speaking of the platform, like Anwar said, Tyler Bennett did come through. I mean, Lollapapa did come through and say, TLDR, Twitter equals spawn of Satan. So, and what's up, Kid at Heart? Yeah, Twitter can be a rough place.
It's so toxic and narcissistic.
I don't even look at the feed. I go right to send thing out, and poof.
And I don't want to know nothing.
I don't look at no home. I ain't at no home page. No. My home page is Twitter/Arckatron. That's my home page. My Twitter home page.
I don't even be on there like that anymore. I only went to see that tweet because I just wanted to just like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It had the video attached to it.
Yeah. I saw the tweet. And I was like, okay, cool. But
yeah, it seemed
I thought this
like
was
something that
knowledge that was known.
It seemed like something that should have. Twitter will do this. Something that was supposed to be a celebration, like, yo, Tim, thanks, man. It's so dope that you did this. To like,
yo, fam, this is like to your omelet example. Like, this is like somebody gets an omelet and you used cracked pepper in the omelet. but you used it out of like you had like a cracked pepper
the
from the
special nice
supermarket.
joint.
No, you had one from the supermarket. Like you just grabbed it. It was $1.98 or whatever, and you just cracked it. Boom, boom, boom. Got my seasoning, and they were like, "Yo, he out here copying pepper from the like." It don't make no sense. It don't even make sense.
Yo, he over here making omelets like everybody else making omelets.
Like, yo, he out here getting eggs from the supermarket. I thought he had a cat. I thought he had a chicken in there. Like, what are you talking about right now?
Or like they look behind it like, oh man, look at him. He making waffles with a waffle iron. Come on, man, you ain't doing it OG for real waffles. Like, well, nobody does that no more. I thought he had chickens in the back. I thought he was getting eggs fresh every morning. He had them from the supermarket. He got waffles. They frozen. So now you're copying waffles. So it was interesting to see how that went out. But I wanted to have a short conversation at least for a second. Bring you guys in.
The person who wrote the tweet, if you ever see this in your life, you're stupid.
I have no comment.
You're dumb. No comment. You're not a smart person.
So since we do have 3 producers up on this show, I also wanted to throw it to each one of them so they can let you know their most recent production and how you can find it before we move to the next topic. So
segue.
PL, Parker Lewis, you just made some chicken.
I did. Back to the whole sampling and chopping up and stuff. I basically took the American Gangster soundtrack.
Where'd you get those from?
Huh?
So where'd you get those from, sir? Where'd you get the acapellas from? Yeah, where'd you get the vocals from?
A great young man sent me a file, and
you copied the vocals.
Wow, copying vocals?
You copying vocals?
So I took the vocals from American Gangster, chopped up a bunch of drill beats and laid them over it. Gave Hove a different perspective. You'll never look at Hove or drill again the same way.
I haven't gotten a folder about this. What are you talking about, sir? You haven't shared anything with me. What do you mean, sir?
I got you.
I mean, at least I'm going to be the
provider of it's available on the SoundClouds.
There we have it. Yes. Thank you. I'll find it right now. I'm looking at it right now.
On them SoundClouds, it's available.
SoundCloud.com.
So it's available for y'all. Oh man.
You.
So with that said, moving on.
Available for you.
Moving on to Mr. Highsign in the corner. And just put his link up in the chat. What is your most recent produced product that you have
called Fleece.
Provided?
It's called Fleece. This is the cover right behind me. It's a slick little 3-pack. Produced by me, rapped by me.
Got it.
Mixed by my good friend Timbo. Mastered by my good friend Mike Moxham. Or did Timbo master it? I'm not sure.
He mastering like everybody else mastering. No.
But yes, produced by me, performed by me, available right now on iTunes, the Amazon, the Google Play, the Spotify, the Apple Music, the Bandcamp. If you want to do like the deluxe and get you the instrumentals and all of that, it's going to cost you. But if you want to just get it, the regular way, and you don't want to get it out the mud, you can check it out on the bigger platforms. It's available right now.
Word up.
Well, and of course, last but not least,
my tape at?
Mr. ARC Father Part 3.
Yeah, I got a project, y'all. Hold on, I got a project for y'all. No, but my most recent one is called The Space Bridge. The album cover looks just like what's behind me. So I'll move out the way. But it says The Space Bridge at the bottom. But I got tape still available. Got a couple tapes left. But you can find it at Arckatron.com. /start if you want to go there. I actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it in the chat for y'all and anyone who else is looking at it after this. You know what I'm saying, shout out to all the people who look on the replay. Like me, I'm on the replay because I can't be catching it sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm doing stuff. You know what I mean? But shout out to y'all.
Make sure you catch it on the replay.
Yeah, pun the replay. Pun the replay.
Who is on that thing, man? Who's on that piece right there? Kid?
On the replay.
Oh, actually, everybody here is on that piece. Got Parker Lewiz, got NERDSoul, and got Anwar Highsign. Booyah!
I had the old name.
Yeah.
Shout by a different name on these killing fields.
Yeah. Shout out my brother in the chat. Oh, what my brother in the chat? What up, Audio Ron?
Audio Ron in here?
Oh,
snap.
What up, bro? You know what I mean? What up, man?
You know what I'm saying?
Holla, baby.
Oh, man. So, moving on, hey, look, sampling is real. It's like, people do it, and it's not just copying. So
I've never done it myself. I wouldn't do, you know what I'm saying? That's not how I play everything that I put out. You know,
everything personally.
It personally played, you know what I'm saying? Classically, I play and it looks like this.
Yep. And you got the little xylophone. You like boom, 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 boom.
When I play the xylophone, it looks like this.
Yeah, it still look like this. When you're on the guitar, it's still like this. All that.
Cameron bit that from me. If y'all ever saw the GIF with Cameron.
Oh man. Cameron.
You originally were the one to get the computers putin'?
You was puting the computers?
Yeah. Computers computing. Boopity booting. Me and Cameron share a birthday.
Really?
Oh, word?
Yeah. My birthday's next month.
Uh-huh.
We share
February.
Killer Cam.
4th.
Killer Cam.
February 4th. I'm about to drop the Cam's birthday pack.
Get it.
One time.
Cam's birthday pack.
How many songs should I put on there? Should I just do the 2-pack? Cam's birthday 2-pack?
Yeah, 2-pack should do. They should do.
It's a 2-pack and get it right. All right, we're gonna do the Cam's birthday 2-pack.
That'll work. So I wanted to talk with you guys about an interview I recently saw with Busta Rhymes. And we've seen, or I think we've all seen the one that he did with Van Jones. I haven't seen it all. I still have only seen like half of it because.
Wait, who? You said Busta and Van Jones?
Busta and Van Jones, and then he has another interview with Tamron Hall.
Oh, nice, none of them.
All right,
I only did the drink champ one. That's the one I know about.
The only one I watched.
All right, word. So, in his interview with Van Jones, he gets into a lot of like personal stuff, emotional stuff. You get some great stories about like how he came up, how he was starting and stuff. It's just incredible how deep he gets into his life. Then with Tamron Hall, he goes further into like his family dealings with his kids, his insecurity about his physicality, how he looked, how people responded to how he looked, how his kids responded, and really seemed to dig up a lot of personal insecurity, personal trauma throughout that interview and this interview. And I remember sitting there and thinking like, wow, this is something that we rarely get from, I guess you would say, someone at his caliber. Like it's something that we rarely get. Do you think that this is something that diminishes his brand because he's so open, because he's so vulnerable about these things? Or do you think it's a positive thing for his brand? And do you think that other people should do it as well? Other rappers, at least, you know what I'm saying, should do this as well? Because I found it very eye-opening, and it actually made me more of a fan of his. Seeing him like talk about his kids and how he how they affected him, how he cares about them, like the things that he worries about. And then on Van Jones' side, like how his father raised him, how he tries to raise his kids, like stuff like that. Like learning who the man is, well, sometimes it can be bad if you learn who the man, but in this case, it seemed to provide a fuller picture of the person that I've been, enjoying music from, for so long. Is this something that you think, because hip hop many times can be very, very aggressive. Do you think this is something that's good for him? Or do you think that this is something that he should have kind of like just kept to himself?
I definitely think it's a positive for him. For him. It's not a positive for everyone to be that vulnerable, especially in hip hop. But for him, being a veteran for so long, having accumulated fans tenfold all across the world, showing that vulnerability now at this point just encourages more people to be fans of his. So at this time, it works for him. I do not recommend it to every rapper.
Okay.
Why you throwing shots at me, kid?
and actually, you also brought up something that's important to, I guess, add to the contextualization of it as well. Does it also help because he's a veteran?
It ain't real without me.
Oh man.
What is it without me?
But do you think do you think it is better since he's a veteran? Do you think it makes it easier for him to open up since he's a veteran?
I think it's better for him as a veteran because we interface with him from a very specific place. So we never really get to see more than he gives. The same thing for other veterans like Jay-Z, like Nas, to an extent. Like some of those guys who were like really huge to all of us, we only get to see a very specific side of him.
I agree. He actually talked about that on Drink Champs, actually, where he was saying that he's about, like a lot of the artists from that era were about like the mystique and like where you don't know much about them, but the only time, like he was talking about when he meets people in public and they see Busta Rhymes, like, oh wait, Busta Rhymes. They want him to be the animated Busta Rhymes, the woo-ha Busta Rhymes. And he's like, nah, I'm a human being like everyone else. I just want to go get my food. So I think this actually helps him. You see more of he's like a human being instead of just being this animated artist or character.
The Dungeon Dragon.
Yeah. So I think it's more way he's more well-rounded now. You see a little bit more of sides of him. I got more in the Drink Champs episode. There was a lot. There was a lot of stuff I didn't know about him and his history and like where he came from and all kind of stuff. So it was pretty dope. So I'm for it. I didn't know about the Drink Champs interview, so I'm gonna have to check that out. You're gonna have to set some time aside, sir. It's 4 hours long. So
all right, cool. I had to start that in the morning.
Bring a snack.
I still got people too, Mike. I ain't see it.
But I like it for certain like PL. You said that for specific artists, right? Not everybody.
Yeah.
I'm with not that. Not everybody. I don't want to.
Now, with that said, why? Why not from every artist?
Because
oh my bad, go ahead.
No. It's like if you didn't come in the game being introspective, like, okay, like being introspective works for certain artists, right? If you didn't come into the game being like that, I need to like give me some time before I get to know you, I guess is what some people feel. Like, let me hear what you got to offer before I learn anything about you, is what some people feel. Not me. I'm not a believer of that. Like, I very much like to know who the artist is while I'm listening. Like, that's me. I want to know who you are. The more I know about you, the more I'm encouraged to listen.
Yeah, because I agree with it. Well, at least on the kind of like artist side, as far as illustration, comic books, and writers, when they're in in the, well, what used to be the convention space. Conventions ain't gonna be back for another 2-3 years, y'all. But anyway, you know, I've heard a lot of people say it's best to get your like viewers or followers to really enjoy you, like your company, like you, you know, like, so when they enjoy hanging out with you, they'll also enjoy supporting you, meaning when you drop a new comic book or when you drop a new short story or when you do a poster set of, I don't know, the Dragon Ball characters or something like that. They'll be more inclined to support you, even though I know art and writing is sort of like a different lane, but they said overwhelmingly when people kind of buy into you, it helps them also buy into your product. But I also know with hip hop comes a lot of, you know, like you got to have the aggression there, so you can't break the narrative either. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
I think it's the matter of vulnerability.
Okay, all right.
Like if you come into the game with a sense of vulnerability, I think it's okay for you to proceed as such. If you come into the game like, I'm the hardest dude on the block, and all I talk about is like my block stories, it's like,
I'm gonna kill everybody.
I really don't want to hear like, yeah, man, I killed him because, you know, I was built all these built up aggressions that I've had growing up in my past. Like that won't sound good on record to me.
All right. Now speaking of aggressions and like, you know,
Not real.
Not real. In the chat they brought up your boy Drizzy a few times. And I know we've thrown around Drake a few times as far as like,
people
hey,
hate Drake because he's vulnerable. I don't
Thank
think
you.
I don't think that's a good enough reason.
Is it a situation? Is Drake really vulnerable, or does Drake?
That's not why
Drake. Is he really vulnerable, or does he feign vulnerability to then kind of like throw little baby shots at people?
Definitely
it's a little of both.
Vulnerable.
He says it's a little both. A little bit of column A.
Both.
Yeah.
He's out here faking some of this vulnerability, fam. Like,
I don't think so.
You going through that same issue of that same conflict of I turned a good girl bad. It's been like 15 years, man.
Drake.
He's a lot of good girls bad, bro.
But
if it's 15 years later and that's still an issue for you, you're cognizant that that's what you're doing. That was your intention. You wanted at that point.
Go,
at that point,
good ones go.
You wanted what you wanted at that point. So, you know, but people like to hear that story. You know, when we hear it from Eminem or something like that, like you listen to an Eminem album and he got the same story about the damaged relationship and she cheated or all we do is fight. And then sometimes like we even physically fight, but you know, like it's our love is like somewhere down in all of there's still this love and you're the one I'll always run back to. Like that's still like really you're doing this still? Like that's still happening at close to 50? Not believable. It's no more believable for him than it is for Drake.
All right, okay. You know,
for me.
Cause I did
music
see,
is subjective.
For me.
For me, music is subjective, as we remember from earlier in the show. So for me, to me, that's not believable. That's ridiculous.
Okay. How about you, Art? You know what I'm saying? Where you at? Who's another artist that you would like to see kind of have this, I guess you could say, interview run where they're kind of being able to tell their story from their own perspective before somebody does a whack documentary like Tiger on HBO Max, like, you know, they actually tell their own story about how, like, what they went through, how they felt.
Kanye West.
Now I probably would want that from someone like Nas. I want to hear like Nas's full story. I'm not well versed in it. It might be out there, but I haven't heard it.
There's
y'all
pieces
gotta
of
let me know
Nas'
what's up.
story
I
out there,
think
but
Time
not
is Illmatic
not to the
did a
point of
good
where
job.
Busta's gone.
Yeah, like you mean like the Buster level, or to like just a level of like just letting us know who
I'd say
you are?
Busta level, because Busta's level, I was impressed.
I would like to see Nas.
I was
then. I would like to
impressed
see
to
Nas.
see,
Then.
you know, I mean, not impressed that he went through these tough things, but you know, also just like feeling, I guess feeling more knowledgeable about where the energy from his music comes from. You know, like the man that makes this music was just so, it was intriguing to me, even though, you know, I know he went through some tough times, but then also being like, wow, man, like, you know, like my father went through this, or, you know, I went through this or whatever. Just kind of having that feeling like, you know, he's even more, I guess, respectable as a legend than I thought before. At first, I was just like respecting the skill and the music. And now I'm like, yo, I respect his story. You know what I'm saying? It kind of like what I was saying with like the artist on the comic book side. Like, I've bought into his music. Now I'm buying into the actual person behind the persona. You know, because of course, you know, you can't be super hype all the time. You know, like even for the show, like say, you know, like in the show, I might be like, oh, yo, let's do this. I'm super hyped, whatever. But you know, if I'm just kicking it and editing some video, I'm not like doing that. I'm just like looking at the screen and clicking the mouse over and over. So, you know, I did enjoy it. So I think Nas, I'd like to see Nas or hear Nas's story. I know we have some of it between some interviews, some songs, but I wouldn't mind seeing, you know what I'm saying, Nas sit down on Beast Vibes Life. You know what I'm saying? Tell your story here, Nas. I know you be watching. I looked at my analytics. It said viewer, Nas. Queens,
Thomas
New
D
York.
said
No,
Thomas D said a Rakim documentary would be nice.
I
would like to see
feel
that.
like the
A
Nas
real one.
documentary
There's a
did
couple
good
on
job.
YouTube. I want a real one.
Yeah.
I
You
feel like
talking about
Nas's documentary did a good job of painting the picture.
A little bit, but I mean, like, if we're talking about Busta Rhyme level, what he did on the Van Jones, and this like a little deeper, because like I watched it whenever it came out. It was cool.
It was cool, but it didn't go. It didn't really. It just scratched the surface, I guess.
Yeah, for me, I feel there's more story to tell, and
because I
saw
it
was cool.
Was it similar to the Mass Appeal documentary for Dilla? I remember Mass Appeal did like a 30-minute joint on Dilla one time.
It was like which one you talking about? Was what like that?
Was the Raw documentary like the De La Soul one from Mass Appeal? Like Mass Appeal did something.
I didn't
don't know,
see
maybe
that Rakim joint, man.
Oh, me neither.
Rakim is so private. He's a really private dude too. So I'm surprised they got a documentary out of him at all.
Yeah.
Wait. Definitely. So wait, they did do a documentary or did not do a documentary?
That who? Rakim?
Rakim.
Or De La?
Yeah. I'm like,
I don't remember this documentary.
Oh, Rakim.
I thought Mike was saying they had a Rakim documentary.
Nah,
like
he was saying De La.
There's one on YouTube, but it's not like.
He was saying one on De La.
Oh,
the one on De La was good, but yeah, with you know,
it wasn't as in depth as I think it could have been. You know what I'm saying? And
I think
I don't
need
Lifetime to make no movie of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, De La could get like a full length, and it would be probably still some story to tell.
Yeah, because there's a lot of years there. Because you got like the before Tommy Boy, during Tommy Boy, post Tommy Boy stuff, and then I guess you kind of hear then, like, you know what I'm saying? You got, I mean, Wu did it, and I mean, I know they're not as big as Wu, but I mean, I'm talking about the time that they've been, I guess, active. You know, is similar. Is a whole lot of years. You know what I'm saying?
They've been around longer than Wu.
Yeah, you're right. Because then you got all of the stuff with Prince. You got all this stuff. Not Prince. Sorry. Prince Paul.
Oh, where they work with Prince? Oh, that I didn't know that.
I don't know about that one.
De La Soul, Purple Rain. All right, let's get
Thomas
it.
said Jay-Z has a documentary.
Purple Daisies.
Yeah,
there's a couple of Jay-Z documentaries.
Yeah, Jay has a documentary, sort of. So yeah, but yeah, I just want to throw that out, see what you guys thought, see what the chat thought. You know, what's on your minds. You know, because when I was watching the brother Rhymes, the brother Buster Rhymes. You know what I'm saying? He's Buster now.
I'd love to see a
Don't call him Trevor no more.
Pause.
I've never even called him Trevor. That's the craziest part. I said he might be Trevor. I said he might be Trevor.
Right. That's
Slick Rick Doc would be fire.
Slick Rick Doc.
I'd love to see a Slick Rick Doc.
I feel you on that.
Who said that?
PL said that.
PL.
Oh, word up. Take it to the bridge.
But with that said, guys, thank you for rolling through. We have exhausted and exercised the demons. Big shout out to the chat, Lala Papa, Audio Ron, Marquis Collins, Thomas D, Jenna James, Tyler Bennett and his crazy self, Kid at Heart, Phantom Girl. Then we got Token up in there, and
said Marquis Collins, Thomas D. Who you say? Yeah, everybody.
Yeah,
Tyler Bennett.
If I missed someone,
there was one person. So. There was one name. There's one person that said something. I saw the name.
Was
real
it Token
quick.
Or was it Kid at Heart?
Kid at Heart. No, it was. They said like one thing, but I mean, I think it's way back. It's way back.
I think we got everybody. If I didn't, it's not on purpose. So don't be coming.
Oh no, it was Token. It was Token. It was Token. It was Token.
Say my name. So with that said, we're gonna start over here. The conspiratorial one. That's right. PL, take him to the bridge.
What's good, y'all? Thank everybody in the chat for stopping through. Everybody that's going to watch the replay later, appreciate y'all for stopping by to the channel. Parker PL Lewiz here. Parker PL Lewiz, Lewiz. You can try that at .com. You can try that Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, all of that good stuff. New stuff coming soon. American Driller was the title of that project that I just dropped on SoundCloud. If you got a second, go check it out, man. Just trying to stay busy for 2021.
That you dropped that right after you dropped
the full piece with the sides, man.
That's right, the full piece with the sides.
Busy, man. We dropping. We like just trying to stay busy, stay relevant. Just check me out, man. You never know. You never know.
Relevancy is in the heart, brother, not the analytics.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? Even though I did see Nas in my analytics. I looked up in there, said Nas from Queens. Watch
Nas,
your video.
Queensbridge, New York.
Because he watches the show. We all know that.
Yeah, he watches the show.
So we know that Nas works.
Next up, we got Anwar Highsign. Say what's up.
Yo, take a look in the mirror. Say what's up. Fleece is out there right now. Spend a little bit of your hard-earned money with me. You will not be disappointed. Give it a stream. Give it a download.
Hashtag Black Business.
Comment. Yeah, give it a stream, a download, a comment. Come back. Tell us about it. Tell us what you thought of it. Good, bad, or ugly. And check us out on that replay. Check us out with those likes, comment, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time. Yeah.
If you are in this chat, if you are a Beats Vibes Life member and have not heard Ace of Spades yet by this young man right here below me, slap yourself.
Wow.
Just
slap yourself. Slap
Ace
yourself.
of Spades, track 2 from the Fleece EP.
Slap yourself. If you ain't heard that, fam.
Produced by me.
You getting your Suge Knight on, man? You all right, man?
Mm-hmm.
Your own Suge Knight, your own self.
No, he's got the right energy for that song. The energy of that song is like, I might slap you.
Suge Knight run over you, then run back over you, and then be like, "Oh, it's because I'm legally blind. I couldn't see."
I don't drive.
You might have taken the energy a little bit too far. That might have been You turned it murderous. That's we're
This
not
fool said he was
Not
legally
going
blind.
turned it into a case. You just
I
turned it
don't
into
drive. I don't drive.
a case.
Oh man, this fool said he was legally blind. That's why.
That's what he said.
Now he's legally incarcerated.
now he's in jail.
He said
He was not
blind?
pardoned by Donald Trump.
He did.
Why was he driving though?
But the founder of murder of Death Row was.
Yes, indeed, he was.
That's a bad argument. That's what I'm saying. It's a horrible argument. Oh, I'm legally blind.
Well, why were you at the thing?
It's like, I'm legally blind. Why were you driving? Oh, well, you know what I'm saying?
See what happened
That's
was
a question, Judge.
Because
I was trying to give me some
California is all stretched out. Like, you can't walk nowhere.
It was real bright.
See, what happened is that I'm legally blind, Judge. What are you talking about?
What can I do?
I got documents. I got documents.
Why were you driving? You worried about the wrong things, Judge.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the
I
wrong
was
thing.
hungry. This happened.
I need help for my eyes, Judge.
Because I ride for mine.
Yeah. shout out to the last but not least, Space Bridge creator. Got new hotness on the way. I don't know when it's coming. Like,
it's coming soon. Coming soon to the theater near you. Right now, Space Bridge is where we at. Arckatron, you can find me at arckatron.com. That's ARCKATRON.com. That's ARCKATRON.com. Said a little fast first time. But yeah, you can find my music there. You can find some wares and stuff, Tron wares, you know what I'm saying? Some clothes, and you can find some.
That's right. Get them Tron wares. I got
Tron wares.
Let's get it.
You know what I'm saying?
You can find out some music. You can find some composer stuff I've been doing on the cartoons, the animated series side with Laser Wolf. You can find it all there, and then you can holler at me and let me know if you liked it. If you don't like it, you can holler at me. If you're indifferent, you can still holler at me. Whatever, holler at me.
Holla. So, of course, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube is the hub. Hit that thumbs up. Of course, leave a comment. And of course, if you leave that thumbs down, I'm going to send somebody who's legally blind after you, all right? You ain't going to like that.
Shout out to the
He's illegally blind, shooting in the wind, basically. Stevie Wonder pulling up with the
shots. I ain't got the aim.
So, but yeah, podcast if you want to listen, Spotify for that music. Thank you for your support, whether you Patreon supporter, whether you just hitting the like button or you sharing, because sharing helps, all right? Sharing helps. Use your index finger or your thumb or whatever, share it.
Does Suge Knight have on some blue blockers? Like, was he like? He had
some sight blockers.
Judge, I didn't see nothing.
Sight blockers. That man was.
I couldn't see nothing.
They cut to Suge Knight. Oh man!
You got the blue blockers on.
I remember hearing that defense that he used. I was like, dude, but you rolled back over him though. Like, it wasn't like you hit him once, but you rolled back.
Hey, he had to make sure he knew what it was. I don't know. You know what that was.
Was that a person? Let me back up real quick.
That incident is such a valuable lesson in letting things go. Like, you had held on to these issues that you had with these dudes for like 20 years.
You can let that go.
You killed a man who you called a friend, that a lot of people called a friend, and you're in jail, and you're getting older. You might mess around and die in there.
Yeah.
For what? To go intimidate Dre on the set of Straight Outta Compton. Good job.
Yeah. Not smart.
That was a bad idea.
How'd that work out? Good job.
Man, look, if he was smart,
how good was
he would have hurried up and wrote a tell-all book real quick to coincide when the movie come out to be like, this is the real Suge story. Now, would you have sold something? You would have made some money. You would have made that
You
like
probably make a lot of money
salacious.
on real
I
short
gotta know
story.
what he said. Money. You know what I'm saying? You would have made that money. You know what I'm saying? Like you would have sold real hot for like 2 weeks. But what
Nah,
you doing?
Probably more than
I
that.
think
Who's not going to want to read the death row story in Suge's words?
yeah,
Like,
that would be interesting. Yeah.
it's like,
The
look,
sugar
man,
daddy.
I would read it.
Would be an
Suge don't
interesting
never
read.
listen to me. See, now you see this because Suge don't listen to me. I told Suge back then, I was like, Suge, man, don't drive over people. He was like, nah, I got this. I was like, all right.
I mean, but he's watching the show, so you can tell him right now.
Yeah,
what
see,
you feel.
Suge, look, write your book, all right?
Watching it on what?
Right on death row. Write it on paper.
I don't think we really
know.
care about his death row. Not now. We don't care about that other
Watches
stuff.
it on
Death row.
He watches it on death row.
Yeah.
Wow. That was cold.
The irony.
That was cold blooded, man. PL, what was the fellow's name who died? Terry.
The one who got pardoned?
No, the man who died in that in that incident. Terry, I believe Terry's. Sorry, I don't remember his name. Rest in peace to that gentleman.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to that gentleman, because everybody said that he was a very nice guy. So it sucks that he had to lose his life to someone so ridiculous.
Terry Carter.
Something that should have been let go years ago.
Terry Carter.
Yeah.
So rest in peace to Terry Carter. Even though this is not a new story, still rest in peace to Terry Carter.
Yeah.
There is a tie-in though. PL, I think you were about to say this. Harry O, one of the founders of Death Row,
he got pardoned.
Pardoned with everyone.
What?
He was in jail for. He's been in jail for like 30 years for selling
32
a small amount of weed to an undercover.
How? Yo, them pardons was mad random. Well, not all of them were random, but like some of them, you're like, huh? What? So all of PL. See, that's why I love you, PL, because PL like, PL like,
he pardoned Wayne. He pardoned Little Wayne. He pardoned Little Wayne. He pardoned
Kodak Black.
Lil Kodak. Pardoned Kodak Black.
Okay.
So you know,
Kwame Kirkpatrick.
No, he's holding it down for the hip hop community. So
Kwame Kirkpatrick.
Yep.
Former mayor of Detroit.
Trump was like, free Kodak.
He was like, yo, man, Kodak, come on, man.
He was listening to that ASAP Rocky. Free Kodak. He was.
Oh yeah, they're here. Dwayne Michael Carter Jr. All right.
He's like,
I'm looking at the list right now.
Dwayne's free before he even went to jail.
Dude, it's like over 140 people. Like, dude made sure, like, when I leave, I'll make sure y'all know I done left.
When I leave, the club leaves.
I'll wait till we go off camera to say my next statement. I will.
So,
say it, man.
We gonna
How you gonna
y'all.
be conspiracy P and don't say your conspiracies? Come on, conspiracy P.
Can't say conspiracies on tape because the feds is watching. That's another people that's watching. Feds is watching NERDSoul too. Y'all just need to hit the thumbs up.
You get the conceited face.
You can't. How you gonna be conspiracy P if you don't say your conspiracies, P?
Well, he does say them to us.
He gonna keep the conspiracy stay with P.
Okay.
All right, guys. We out.
All right,
I'll let y'all later. We're gonna leave y'all
Peace.
with ARCKATRON. A woo for y'all and peace.
No, every time y'all say that, it reminds me of the MICK.
Oh, you want to come and give them some woos? All right, come on. Give them some woos. Give them a woo. Give them a woo for them. Show them the woo. Show them the power of the
okay,
woo.
we doing like a football, wouldn't it? All right. Yeah. Hey, touchdown. All right, got you.
That's right. Show the woo. Show the woo.
The Phoenix.
Man, Ross in the ashes, y'all man.
We out. Peace.
Ross in the